Day 9 of training camp just wrapped up a few hours ago. I waited. I wanted to see if more updates happened, and we got a few. What is up, Fin fans? Yeah, so today was a day at training camp. We got a scare, and then we got horrible news. So I'm gonna jump right into it. The scare was Jaylen Phillips. Jaylen Phillips gets banged up, leaves. He's like sitting on the cooler. They're checking his knee, all that stuff. And then Jaylen Phillips tweets this out. I just got leg whipped. Y'all chill out. Just a bruise. So again, big fat sigh relief that it's nothing serious. It's just a bruise from Jaylen Phillips. At first, we were all terrified. He's probably going to be shut down. He's not playing on next Sunday against the Bears. He'll probably be shut down for about a week and might not even practice again until joint practice with Detroit. But he's good. And then we got this news that came out, like I said, about an hour ago. I waited, wanted to get more news and information. Dolphins right tackle Austin Jackson will miss weeks. But hope is he'll be back for week 1 per Cameron Wolf. Backup tackles play has been poor, regrettably. So it's like you can't win. We just can't win. You can't even sit here and say like, oh, it's the Dolphins and this and that, blah, 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 because there's a lot of teams that are dealing with crazy injuries in training camp. It's just, that's the nature of the beast, and that's why having depth is so incredibly important. And the Dolphins don't have any depth on the offensive line. Like, they brought in Brunskill, which I'm happy about, but when it comes to the tackles, they don't really have depth. So it's another situation where now what a big fat question mark in the corners, and now a big fat question mark at right tackle. And, if your expectations were low to begin with, they just got much lower. So we'll see how this all plays out. We'll see what the Dolphins do if they add a tackle. But again, is there a tackle out there to be added that will do anything enough to help the team is the big fat question. I don't know. So Mike McDaniel does pressers every other day. So he didn't do a presser today. He will do one tomorrow. So we'll get more information on Jaylen Phillips tomorrow and on Austin Jackson tomorrow. And again, there are some other guys who didn't practice today, so hopefully we get more information on them tomorrow. Jaylen Phillips is your orange jersey of the day on a scare day where he scared the crap out of us. Aaron Brewer was back working today, which is fantastic. Brian Baldinger and the NFL Network were at camp today. Baldinger tweeted this out. He said, Miami Dolphins, let's go, go, go. The heat is only a mindset. So I'm assuming for everyone who was there today, it was hot. Austin Jackson is not practicing today. There was a period yesterday in one-on-ones where he looked like he was battling something, but he finished practice. But now Larry Borom likely moves to right tackle. If you don't know who Larry Borom is, we signed him in free agency after being released from the Chicago Bears. And if the Chicago Bears release you, you're not good. So it seemed like a very cheap move for the Dolphins, and it might come back and bite them in the butt. This is from Travis Wingfield. He said the D-line is doing the stack and peak shed drill on the sleds with an extra player on the bag, hitting their hips to simulate combo blocks and absorbing it with the anchor dropped. Very nice to see. Cam Smith not practicing today from Omar Kelly. He said he's been wearing a compression sleeve for the last couple of days. I'm sure it's gotten worse. And then Omar Kelly says, at this point, the Dolphins have moved on. And he says, I'm just being honest. And, Cam Smith has been warned from Chris Greer. So if that is the case, that he is dealing with something yet again and dealing with an injury yet again, might be a situation where they do move on from him. Teron Armstead is back at practice again today, which is fantastic to hear. Again, helping his old team. He's talking with Braden Daniels, and he was talking with a lot of people, so it's really cool to see. Cam Smith is working on the sideline, one-on-one offensive line versus defensive line. Phillips beats Borum. Fantastic. Daniels holds Sealer, and Grant defeats Jonah, as well as Paul defeats Chubb. Patrick Paul is having a very good camp, which is, again, making me very happy. Aaron Brewer's back in practice today, but Cam Smith, Austin Jackson, nowhere to be seen. Remember, McDaniel speaks every other day, so again, we'll hear from him tomorrow. Tight ends versus safeties. Brown defeats Campbell. Brown shows good hands. Linebacker versus running back. Gordon defeats Samuel. Blocking. Willie Gay Jr. pass breakup versus Wright. Pass coverage. Madison long reception versus Britt. Corner versus wide receiver. Isaiah Johnson flag versus Isaiah Black, who caught the pass. Offensive line versus defensive line. Phillips versus defeats Borum. Grant eventually knocks Jonah to the ground, but might have gotten to the quarterback in time for a sack. Good rep by both, which is fantastic to hear again. 1v1 notes, some more of those. I saw Patrick Paul lose a rep. Bradley Chubb overset him, then cross face to turn the inside post. First time I've seen all camp. Paul did have a great rep on Chop where he took him around the arc, kind of the pass protection. Jason Marshall Jr. riding stationary bike. McDaniel just went over to chat with him again. McDaniel has said that he will like to see him on the 8th in the joint practice, so we'll see how that goes. Teron Armstead now offering tips to Chubb and Phillips. They're alternate. They're an attentive audience. Again, Armstead is doing his thing, helping his old team out. Then we have Cameron Wolfe, who, again, is at practice today with the NFL Network, and he is showing how he is a sweaty mess because it is a hot day at practice. Patrick Paul wasn't as dominant as he's been all week. Bradley Chubb has gotten 2 wins on him on one-on-ones, but Chop's speed continues to not bother Paul, which is nice to hear. Top performers on one-on-ones was Jaylen Phillips, but it doesn't help that none of these right tackle options are good. Every pass rusher beat the right tackle up today. Add a crying emoji. Keon Smith is working as the backup left tackle, and it seems to have some upside. He's naturally a tackle, and based on what we've seen in camp so far, this might have some upside based on how he did on one-on-ones. If you remember, I think it was this previous end of season presser with Greer, he talks about how Keon Smith getting injured kind of hurt their offensive line because they had high hopes for him. So maybe Keon Smith steps up at right tackle and we have depth there. We'll see. 11 on 11's offense at their own 25. Willie Gay Jr. makes a stop on Tyreek run left. That man better get, if Willie Gay Jr. doesn't get an orange jersey tomorrow, you could take the orange jersey and you can just make it whatever you want, but it means nothing. Matt Dickerson continues to excel in one-on-ones. He won every rep. Hey, man, I love being wrong. Absolutely love being wrong. This is Achan outside run again. Shout out to my guy, Tommy from Hialeah, getting us some footage. For the people watching or listening on the podcast, nice little seal on the edge there. You got to go to the YouTube channel if you want to see those. So to the YouTubers, you get to see that. To the podcast listeners, go over to youtube.com/DouglieDoWrong, hit that subscribe button. Safety Ashton Davis is out here with left foot. Wait, one more time. Ashton Davis is out here with left foot in walking boot while riding a stationary scooter. Hopefully it's, again, nothing serious. We're not hearing anything. From what I remember, it's not a knee or an ankle. It's kind of an in-between situation. So maybe some type of shin splint or something worse. Tua drills one to Waddle for 15 yards. Good to see Aaron Brewer back in there. He had a really nice rep. They are giving Tua a clear shot at the throw down the middle. Jason Marshall Jr. not practicing on 11 on 11s. Tua moves to his right, flips his hip, drives one to Malik Washington coming with him on the sideline 10 yards down the field, right on the chest in a good sprint. This is a play. This is a play. to Washington. This is the play that Travis was just talking about. Again, if you're on the podcast, go subscribe. Little play action, rolling out. Boop. Nice little play. Get those motions going. Good to see. Ashton Davis scooted in practice. We already heard that. Chop gets a sack speed to power that looked like it caught the tackle by surprise. And he got under Ryan Hayes' pads and drove him back. Zeke Biggers was first to Ollie Gordon on a stop for no gain. Tanner Connor, long gain from Ewers with John Saunders Jr. and Jordan Colbert close in coverage. Here's a pass from Ewers to Connor that was just read to you, gentlemen and ladies. Little motion here. Ewers, play action, rolling him out the other way. Nice pass. That was nice. Because the man rolled out to his left and threw it all the way across him to the right to the opposite side of the field. That was nice. Very, very nice. This is another play here. Oh, no, it's just the same play. Zeke Biggers stops Jaylen Wright for no gain. Biggers doing good work early versus interior offensive line. Welcome back, Aaron Brewer. Now go displace Benito Jones. He tries, but Benito slips the block and shuts down Jaylen Wright's run. Then Jaylen Wright with a 12-yard run to the right side. Zach Wilson with a sack on Tua after slipping a Tanner Connor block. Easy work. Here is Jaylen Wright to the outside. Little motion. Recognizes something. Little motion again going the other way. You're going to pitch it. Nice little block there. Okay. Gained the first down. I like the motion there. Like the disguise of the play. Ollie Gordon gains 12-yard run behind Alec Ingold with the second team line. Again, interesting. And this is the stuff that I kind of listen for or read when I'm reading these play-by-plays is like you hear Ollie Gordon, right, which you're thinking second team, and then says with the second team line, but Alec Ingold's in there. So I'm wondering how much Alec Ingold's doing with different lines and different teams. Mo Kamara and KJ Britt team up for a stop on Madison. Nobody pads pop out there like KJ Britt's, which I love hearing. Tua throws the ball away when Bradley Chubb gets close to a sack. Good. Kind of reinforcing that whole mindset of all that stuff. Chubb pursuits, forces Tua to throw the ball away. I read that. Terrell Dotson with a sack on Tua. Offensive protection is clearly struggling today. Packages are confusing the offense. Got to work on that. That's what training camp is for. Cornerback Jack Jones getting left knee repped by trainer. We'll see if it means anything significant. He looks like he's ready to get back on the field, which again, a nice scare, but thank God that doesn't happen. Here's a pass to Devon Achane that I think is a drop. Yep, Tua. Looks like they're sending a blitz. They back off. Yeah, you got to catch that. That hit him right in the breadbasket. You got to catch that. I think he was more concentrating on turning upfield than running. Chubb stops Achane in the backfield on a run and then does a funny walk. Essentially like, not a funny walk in the aspect of he's hurt, but a funny walk in like a Conor McGregor type situation. Jaylen Phillips is being examined by trainers at Dolphins camp. It appeared to be a lower body. Again, we already went through this. He's fine. He tweeted out everything. He's fine. Here's a play from Ewers. Play action. Dropping back. Has time. Nice pass over the middle. I think that's to Taj Washington. I really am excited to see what he can do in preseason. Tua throws his third incompletion of the day after Mika pressed him. Then Matthew Butler sacks Tua. Here's the defensive pressure. in a nice little video. Looks like they are sending a blitz. They do send a blitz. Gets pressure up in his face. Definitely would have been like 3 sacks there. And then incomplete. So regardless, it was a sack. They sent a blitz up the middle. Bad blocking. Ended up in a sack. Jack Jones went in during 11-on-11, so the knee seems fine. He probably just got it rewrapped and tightened, if anything. Tua steps up in a clean pocket and drives one for 15 yards. So some sizzle on that ball. Was 3rd and 12, so nice conversion on a tough spot. That was from Travis Wingfield. Willie Gay with a pick 6 today on Tanner Connor's pass. If Gay is an orange jersey tomorrow, orange jersey is a fraud. It's nice to see him finally getting an interception. It's nice. Little play here. Little motion there. Tua's dropping back. Oh, it was the same play as before. Tua's just holding the ball a little too long. Quinn Ewers letting it fly. Let me see if we've seen this one. Yeah, we've seen this one. KJ Britt forces a throwaway, which is nice. 11-on-11 offense at their own 40. For what it's worth, Phillips not on the field, but again, we heard it is a big nothing. This one is Tua to Achane. Little motion here. There's a flag. I think it's offsides on the defense. Nice little play. Because the play continued, unless they still continue it, even if it's on the offense in training camp. Then this is Tua to Tanner Connor. Tua scanning the field, dropping back, wide open. Dropped it in the underneath zone. Not bad. Tua engineering a scoring drive. In a hurry-up setting, a 1:15 was on the clock from the 40. He drove down to the field to the 20, and Sanders kicked is good. 3 completions to Tanner Connor, chewing up about 30 yards. Had 2 completions to Achane and 1 to Waddle. Nice to hear. Jordan Colbert lightly sacked Zach Wilson. He shot up the middle, almost untouched. Colbert on another blitz offense got to communicate better. Keon Smith let Patrick McMorris sack Zach Wilson on a blitz. Zeke Biggers just ran to the facility while being accompanied by the medical team. Looks like his day is over. Again, these injuries. And I wonder if these injuries are more, crampage and stuff like that, because they are practicing in crazy heat right now. So, I if I'm McDaniels, I probably utilize the dome a little more. Obviously, you can't in some situations because it's open to the public, but have them practice, like bump the air conditioning in that dome, like have it be frigid in that dome, because they're practicing in heat, lots of heat, which obviously they're going to get used to for playing in Miami in September and October, but you got to get situated for playing in December. So, if I'm Greer, well, yeah, and McDaniel, I'm also putting him in the dome, and I'm bumping that cold. Tua throws a touchdown and a screen to Waddle. Patrick Pollock escorted him, not escorted him the whole way, but it's called back for a false start. Fantastic. Tua had all day to pass, eventually completed a pass to Julian Hill while rolling out. Impressive protection from the line. Love hearing that. John Saunders Jr. pulled a fumble from Jalen Wright, hand at the end of the tackle. Ewers with a deep completion to Westbrook that would have been good for 30 yards if Grayson Murphy didn't get him for a would-be sack. Ollie Gordon stays on the same track and is into the second level. He drops his shoulders. Then Bonner absorbs the tackle, but Gordon was the one who dished the punishment, which is nice to hear. Ewers' nice red zone completion to Westbrook. Ewers with a nice slant to Monroe Baldwin for a 25-yard gain. Ewers is dealing today from Omar Kelly. 3rd and 1 coverage sack. Tua had all day. Never saw anything he liked. Nice work from Mika Elijah Campbell to cap coverage with Storm Duck and Kendall Sheffield funneling the way. See, and this is where you have to, because one of your comments from yesterday's video was very accurate. You got to take it with the good, with the bad, because, when we're not in joint practices and you hear this, you're like, great work by the defense, but also crap by the offense. The way I see it is, you want an even, right? It's nice to have days where the offense does well and the defense does well, but if one day the defense dominates, you want the offense to dominate the next day, so it's even. Situational period started at the 35. Offense is trailing by 3 with 9 minutes left. Will Tua and the unit do it? Ingold 9-yard reception set up 3rd and 1. Matthew Butler got poked in the eye though. Tua had to throw the ball away when Malik, Westbrook, Estridge, and Hill couldn't get open. It's now 4th and 1. Tanner Conner catches a pass that gets Miami to the 38. Period is concluded for Tua, so he converted the 4th and 1. Willie Gay damn near does it again, has another possible interception. Zach Wilson doesn't set his feet and underthrows Taj Washington, man. The guy has accuracy issues, is from Omar Kelly. Chop Robinson commits an encroachment that bails out Wilson's unit. Alexander Madison with a 35-yard run to the right side. He really impresses in pads. It's a world of a difference with pads on and pads off in training camp. D. Estridge seemingly just sustained his right hamstring. He is eventually carted off the field, which, again, it's just one after the other. Solid practice, defense dominated day. Probably to his worst practice, but still no interceptions after 9 practice. Willie Gay Jr. was the top performer, and that is from Omar Kelly. So again, overall, today Omar says defense dominated. Yesterday, from what I was reading, I felt like the defense dominated, but Omar said the offense dominated. So, take with that what you want. The only thing I keep thinking about is all the injuries. Obviously, Jaylen Phillips is fine. We hear about Austin Jackson is going to be done for a few weeks. Hopefully he's ready for week 1. Keon Smith does well today in his absence, which is nice to hear. Willie Gay Jr. with an interception. I'm just hearing a lot of pressure, would be sacks and all that stuff. So that's where I'm just like, it's worrisome. And then we got pressers here. Jalen Waddle confirms the new Dolphins assistant has been strict and bring edge and holds us accountable, talking about Prince. Jalen Waddle said he sang choir in 5th and 6th grade when he hangs with Tua. He says the quarterback pulls out the ukulele and other instruments too. Mika Fitzpatrick talks about the defense pressure. On the defense pressure, defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver brings. He says it's a process. It's a day-to-day thing. It could be 1 week. It could be 1 year. Talking about stepping up and becoming a leader. Mika also says, and I said Mika, but when I'm reading quick, it sounds like Mika, which I said Mika again. Mika. Dolphin safety Mika says the leadership role in Miami is a process. He also says does a lot of drills during practice where he gets opportunity both alone and with others. For example, he works with edge rushers during special team periods, which is nice to hear. Then we have Malik Washington. He says, I have to have the mindset that I own the number 3 receiver spot. Guys will fight for it, but I have to approach it like it's mine. I think that's a situational thing. I think if we're in a situation where we need the big body guy, I think you'll see Westbrook in there. But yeah, he says, Ethan Bonner says, I'm a competitor. I want to start. I want to play at the end of the day. Bonner mentioned he wants to contribute this season, either that's with Miami or not, which is interesting. I haven't heard much from Ethan Bonner, if I'm being honest. So we'll see. Everything I do, I want to do it at a high level. That's from Mika Fitzpatrick. And that is your practice for today. Tomorrow they have another one. Then they have off for 2 days. Then they have another one, another camp. Then they head to Chicago, have a joint practice on Friday with the Bears. And then we have our first preseason game next Sunday at 1:00. But overall today, the injury scares are my biggest thought and what's on my head the most. So I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about today. Comment below. Let me know. I'll see you tomorrow with another training camp. And then I have my Warren Sharp interview on Monday. So got a lot planned for you guys. But usual, stay classy. If it's up.